back, everybody. I'm Jay. He's Maddie. This is Yankee and the Brit Sports Talk. Today, we're going to bring you Week 12, top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. And Maddie, I'll let you explain. I think we're close, but for you, I just went, if I got a team in contention right now and I need a quarterback, which are the 5 quarterbacks I'd want to run my team for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I've gone kind of fully healthy quarterbacks. Who's gonna give me a good chance of winning the Super Bowl this season and then continue to hopefully win me the Super Bowl next season. So it's kind of a who do I want right now, as well as if I'm a GM and looking a little bit into the future. This isn't a 5-year plan, though. This is probably a 2-3 year plan. Just for anybody whose first video this is that's watching us, this isn't how we normally dress. Jay's normally not as proud of the Vikings as he is right now. We are filming just after the Vikings beat the Packers, and I'm dressed for a funeral because that's what happened to Dak behind that offensive line this week. He died.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, sir.
So, yeah. Anyway, we normally a lot more chill than this, but just for you guys, we're looking fancy. Who have you got in your top 5, Jay? Number 5, who have you got?
Well, this one has a lot of defending because I know people are just going to rake me across the coals. And you guys can say I'm prisoner of the moment. That's why I got stuff to back it. I got a guy formerly known as Kirk, who is now first name is First. My first cousin's number 5. So Kirk Cousins, 25 career games with 300 plus yards and 3 touchdowns in his first 10 years, only second to Dan Marino. Kirk Cousins, only quarterback this year to lead his team by 7+ points in every game. Kirk Cousins, only 2 quarterbacks in the NFL have 24-game streak with a touchdown. Kirk Cousins, passer rating 105, ranked 5. QBR 60, ranked 5. 21 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions with 2,800 yards this year. Best ratio in the NFL. All right, go ahead and crush me.
when Jay knows he has to defend something and knows it's borderline when he comes with that sort of fact sheet ready to go. If he's first in the NFL in all of those categories, Jay, why is he not
first in all? But 5th in QBR, 5th in or passer rating. What he was first in is touchdown to interception ratio. And only 2 guys in the NFL right now have 24 games with a touchdown plus 25 career games with 300 plus, 3 touchdowns. First 10 years, only second to Marino. And the guy he just beat, the great Aaron Rodgers, is 3rd on that list.
Yeah, I think I'm worried about the playoffs is all I would say. But if you watched our last video, then I've kind of rescinded that point of Kirk not being a big game player because
I'll take the homer label too. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I don't think so, but maybe subconsciously as a Vikings fan, that was, you know what I mean? But I'll take any of the criticism that comes my way for saying
I think if you said it without the Vikings shirt on, without the Vikings drive in the background, and without the Vikings visor on the side,
wait, what are you talking about? What are we talking about?
There would be a lot more validity to your claim. I think Kirk Cousins has definitely stamped himself as a top 10 quarterback. Has definitely stamped himself as a top 10 quarterback this year. He was always, for me, that 8, 9, 10 down to 15 kind of range. But now I think he's solid top 10 this year. And with that line of stats, it's very difficult to argue with you. I just think in terms of just pure talent, there are better quarterbacks than this who are perhaps in situations that are less.
Well, if you're talking pure talent, you are going to hate my number 2 quarterback.
Well, I've already guessed who you've got number 2. For me, it's Josh Allen is my 5th My fifth in my top five.
Overrated.
Yeah,
Oh, no, go ahead.
I knew
I
you were
am
gonna say
off
that.
on the Bills. I jumped the Bills bandwagon, but I get it. The dude's a
Yeah,
baller.
yeah, this could be. Yeah, he's an absolute baller, and he will just win you games. If the Bills gave him a run game, he'd be able to play a lot better just by the pure fact of it's not all on him. He's the Bills' top rusher and their top thrower this season as well. It's mad. I worry about him turning the ball over and lack of accuracy as much as the next person, but I just think his skill level just kind of overcomes that. This fifth spot could go to a lot of QBs. It could go to Lamar Jackson. It could go to Joe Burrow was in the running for this spot. Dak Prescott, if he wasn't so shit last week. And I'm not going to tell you my other omission because then I think you'll just be surprised he's not in the top five at all. So,
all right,
we'll go from there.
Who you got at number 4, Maddie?
Tom Brady. I have a number 4 to win me a Super Bowl this season and perhaps next season. I put Tom Brady in my team because if he's able to do it in Tampa, he's able to do it anywhere.
I thought you didn't like guys that didn't have top talent.
Tom Brady has top brain. It wasn't the top talent wasn't a slate on Kirk Cousins. He's proved he has top 10 talent. It's just Tom Brady's another level of dude.
Well, for me, I got our boy and friend of the show because we've been pumping him all off season till now, Matty Stafford, LA Rams, my number 5 pick. I think Matt's going to ball out this year. I think he's been balling out. He's had a couple games, but everybody has a couple. You know what I mean? It's like you said, what do you expect every quarterback to do everything on every play, you know?
Yeah, I'm at the point with Stafford where it's kind of like show me, but also I absolutely love him. I think he's great and worthy.
And his stats are out of this world right now. And I know he's been called Pat Stafford before, but Pat Stafford, but you know.
Yeah, he's an incredible quarterback and he's a leader and a really tough motherfucker.
Well, on to a guy who I'm not going to say isn't tough, but man, he got to get back to playing because it was hard. I hate putting guys on who aren't playing, but Kyler Murray's coming back. Kyler Murray's electric, and he just does shit that nobody else does. And I know you got to play him like you play Lamar or these other guys, but man, he is just electric with his feet. He can throw a country mile. I find him to be more accurate than Lamar. I like Kyler Murray as my number 3 quarterback for this year right now.
I would say Kyler Murray doesn't have to fit into a system like Lamar has to. You don't have to build it around Kyler Murray. I would say you can put Kyler Murray in any system. And
no, but you have to play defense against them the same way is what I was saying.
Oh, yeah.
Kyler's more electric.
He makes it, he gives you that extra man on the field, doesn't he? Like, you have to worry about him running, so you have to play a spy or you're screwed. And that opens up defenses. Kyler Murray's a top talent. My number 3 is Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers, I've got a number 3, and I know people will be saying he can be higher and all of that kind of stuff, but I've got Aaron Rodgers at number 3 with the view of, yes, I want to win this year, but I also want to win next year and the year after that as well. And he's more than capable of playing past 40, but you'll see by the people that I've got above him what I'm talking about. Also, is he the kind of guy that you want to come into your dressing room, that kind of prickly behavior that we've seen in Green Bay? I think he's a great guy, but it is a question that needs to be answered.
Okay, fair enough. I won't argue where you put Rodgers. A lot of people are going to probably tank you for this one.
Please fucking hit me in the comments. I love it. I had a
So-
great argument about taunting that I haven't got to speak to anybody about yet, and we'll discuss it another time.
Well, we'll move on to number 2 then. And my number 2 quarterback I want to move forward with this year is the GOAT, Tom Brady. That's the guy, a second top guy I'd want steering my ship. And it's the only reason he's not number 1 has nothing to do with the 2 bad games he had. It's just he's great in the pocket, but sometimes you need a guy to break the pocket, make something happen. That's all.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where Tom Brady is the weakest in that respect. And would he move to another team? I was thinking I'm a GM getting him to move to my team. Like, I think Tampa's probably his last stop, but he'll probably also still play to 45. So, I like, look, Tom Brady's in my top 4, and I know that surprised you. I know the fact that he's in the top 5 of my team surprised you because of the conversations that we've had, but he's so intelligent, has so much ridiculous football knowledge, and is such a great leader with all the intangibles that you can't argue with wherever you put him in this list. I feel like who people are going to hate me for right now, and they're going to call me a prisoner of the moment. Justin Herbert is the second person going into my QB top 5. Justin Herbert has everything. He has the brains to play quarterback. He's got legs. He's got the arm. Yes, he's missing the experience, and that's fine. But I'm thinking if you put him in the right system, he will win you a Super Bowl this year. He is good enough. He is good enough. He is a grown up. Like, he is a great player, and he will gain that experience. And moving forward, he's exactly the kind of guy that you would want to play for your franchise.
I like Justin Herbert. I guess maybe he's just too young for my top 5 at this point.
Yeah, of course. It's a brave choice. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you guys want to slate me for that, then I'm totally okay with it.
Well, I'm still actually kind of curious who you have at 1, so I'm going to go first because anybody who watches probably already knows. I got that bad man from Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. To me, this is still Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. So if I had to pick a guy right now to join my team to take me to the promised land, I would take Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and I would take him number 1 as well. But I'm thinking 3-year build. Rodgers is probably going to win you the Super Bowl this year really well, and then the next 2 years he might fall off. But then again, he'll play past 41 and he'll show me to be a dick. But also he has that locker room stuff that needs to be answered. But I think that's Green Bay as well, as much as anybody else. But it is a question that needs to be answered. I understand why you've got him at number 1. He's a great quarterback. He's one of the best to play the game. Kyler Murray is my top pick. Obviously, Kyler Murray has been injured, and those injuries do worry me a little bit, actually. Because it is.
I'm not going to lie. 1 second. I thought for some reason you were going to take Lamar, and I have no idea why.
I love Lamar. Lamar was in. I've drafted this 4 times since the time that we've been sat doing the last video. I've drafted this 4 times. So I came in with a draft that had already been redrafted a couple of times. Lamar got kicked out by Josh Allen once I remembered that he's a bad man. Yeah. Kyler Murray is my top player in the NFL because he can do everything. He's the one guy on this list that can do, like, Justin Herbert can do everything, but not as well as Kyler Murray can do everything, in my personal view. Aaron Rodgers can't run the ball like Kyler Murray can, and Kyler Murray can throw it off platform just as well as a guy like Patrick Mahomes can. He's also learning the game as well as Tom Brady. But when you have those kind of talents, you don't need to learn the game as much as Tom Brady needs to be perfectly honest, because when it all breaks down, you just go Kyler Murray ball. And before his injuries, the Arizona Cardinals looked untouchable, and he'll come back and be as strong as ever. Those injuries do worry me though, but that's my top 5.
Well, I like Kyler Murray. He's the youngest guy I got in there, which for me, I don't doubt that he can do it, but I just want, show me in the playoffs. Show me what you can do.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not even asking him to go to the Super Bowl. Just, even if you lose, you don't be the reason you lost, and I'll feel better moving forward. I don't think he will be, but we all know the playoffs can do something to players sometimes.
My 2 top players are 2 players that need to show us in the playoffs, like Kyler Murray and Justin Herbert. But I just feel like they will. I feel like they show up in enough big game slots to kind of give me a feeling that they'll be able to do it in the playoffs as well. And when you look at the potential of these 2 guys compared to Rodgers and Brady at 3 or 4, who have hit their ceiling, but these guys are playing just as good, if not better football than them this season, then it's difficult to not put them above them, apart from the experience level, which is why they're switched around in yours.
Well, Maddie, I'm going to put you on the spot real quick because we haven't talked about this, but what do you say next week? top 5 wide receivers just stay with skilled positions for right now.
Yeah, sounds good with me. Sounds really good. Can I just mention the fact that Patrick Mahomes isn't on either of our top 5s really quickly? Because that was the guy who I was
as great as he is, he's playing like shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like he is playing like shit. So that's the reason. So when you all come out and saying, where's Patrick Mahomes? Where's Patrick Mahomes? The dude's not playing very well right now. Whereas the
it's
guys
just
above
an
him
off season. He's having a bad season.
But it's fine. He'll throw the lights out next year, and that's okay. But I don't want him anywhere near my team this year. But if I can take him in the off season for next year, I'll have him. Anytime.
Right, and it's like he's one of those guys that, let's say they squeak into the playoffs and they're struggling, you're still scared to face him because they just have to click one game to whip your ass.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson also not in either of our teams. That's just because Kyler Murray's a better version of him for me.
Yeah, and Lamar's a good player, and I think some of that might have to do with the fact that at this point this year, I'm not like COVID, limping, COVID again, now an disclosed illness. I'm not sure what's going on with him.
Yeah, exactly. He's just not been fluent for the past season or two.
But don't worry, some people are going to throw some quarterbacks out there and be mad at us.
If anybody dares to say the words Mac Jones to me, I will fucking kill them. Like,
hey, this isn't for a top 5, but an honorable mention shout out for a guy who's balling right now, Jalen Hurts. Congratulations.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts definitely best of the rest. Kind of.
Did you realize Jalen Hurts has only started 15 games?
If I had to sit down and think about it, yeah, but you've said it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, only 15.
Yeah, it seems like he's played some more than that. So, yeah, okay.
It makes sense. But, yeah, Jalen Hurts is top intangibles, and he just makes plays.
He's a guy to watch.
Joe Burrow just needs to show us a little bit more if he's not injured. That kind of guy. Dak Prescott, if he didn't shit the bed yesterday, could potentially have made it in the kind of number 5. I mean,
shit, if you were doing a top 10, like we always say, there's 15 guys, there might be 18 guys. You know,
the quarterback play this at the minute is the best it's ever been in NFL history, and there's no doubt in that. And it, with the crop of players that they've got now, it just looks like it's going to get better and better and better.
All right. Well, I think we have it. All right, Maddie. We'll get back to the wide receivers next week, and everybody, watch our other videos. We dropped the review of week 12. We'll have a preview of next week for you. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.